So let's begin working our test review. Problem number 1 says, what is the slope of the line that passes through the points 26, 7 and 39, 12? For this problem, we have 2 points. Each one of those points has x and y coordinates. So I'm going to start with point number 1, and I'm going to label that 26 as x1. And then the 7 is going to be my y1. 39 is going to be my x2. And 12 is going to be my y2. I have an equation that says m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. When we were doing this, we always started with open parentheses. So it's going to be easier for us to just plug in the numbers. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to start with y2. Y2 is right here. It's the first parenthesis on top, and y2 happens to be the 12. Then I'm going to write my y1, second parenthesis, and it's going to be the 7. Followed by the x2, which is going to be on the bottom first parenthesis. Bottom first parenthesis, x2 is 39. And then my x1, which is going to be bottom second parenthesis, and it's going to be 26. I'm going to start putting in some numbers. So it's going to be 12, 7, 39, and 26. When I put into the calculator these equations as it is, it's going to give me a simplified version of the slope, and it's going to be 5 over 13. There's basically nothing else you need to do in this problem because the calculator already simplified this for you. Problem number 2. Problem number 2 says, find the slope of the line represented by 5x minus 12y equals 24. Well, to find the slope, which is the question, what is the slope? My equation needs to be written as y equals mx plus b. And here is where my slope is going to be. It's going to be the term right next to the x. So in my equation right now, it's not in the same format. What I need to do is get y by itself. So to get y by itself, I'm going to start by drawing a line down here. I'm going to start solving this. So to solve this, let me subtract 5x from the left and going to subtract 5x from the right. That goes away. Now I have negative 12y equals, I want to write the x term first. It's a negative 5x. And I'm going to write the 24 second. Here's the 24. What I need to do now, I need to divide. Let me get this. Divide by negative 12. So I need to divide by negative 12. I need to divide. That looks really, really bad. Divide by negative 12 and divide by negative 12. All this goes away. Y equals negative 5 divided by negative 12 is going to be positive because both of those are negative, so it becomes positive. Positive 5 over 12. I think we're done because that is my slope. If I want to find my y-intercept, it's going to be 24 divided by negative 12, so it's going to be negative 2. But this was just enough. 5 over 12 is my slope. Problem number 3. The slope of the line that passes through points negative 4p and negative 5, negative 2 is 7 over 2. What is the value of p? So again, I'm going to use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to label this. This is going to be my x1. My y1 is going to be p. My x2, 5, and my y2 is going to be 2. While 7 over 2 is my slope. This is what I want to find. So I'm going to use open parentheses. Now I'm going to input the numbers y2, 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 y1, 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 now 1, x2, 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 and I 1, x1, x1, and x1. Let me put in some numbers here. y2 is going to be -2. y1, well, that is what the thing that I want to find. That is my unknown. Okay, x2 is -5. And then x1 is -4. All this is supposed to give me 7/2. I'm missing only what is y1. So what I want to do is I'm going to input all the possible values for y1, which happens to be these ones over here. Okay, and if I input these points or these values into y1 over here, one of them is going to give me 7/2. That value is going to be 3/2. When I input this one into the unknown, it's going to give me 7/2. Turn number 4. The student council is buying t-shirts for a fundraiser. The cost of t-shirts is a function of the number of shirts purchased. This relationship was graphed on a line that passes through the points 6, 75, and 15, 187.50. Interpret the meaning of the slope of the line. In other words, all I need to do is get the slope. So let's see. I'm going to go here and put those numbers into the y2 minus y1 over x2 over x1. Let's begin. Here is my open parenthesis one more time. I'm going to put in my y1, my y2, sorry, my y2 is 187.50. My y1 is 75. My x2 is 15, and my x1 is 6. When I put all this into the calculator, it's going to give me 12.5. Well, 12.5 is over 1. And what it means is that for every $12.50 I spend, I get one shirt. How do I know that? Well, here I have a keyword that says it's a function of. It's a function of happens to be the equal sign, and whatever is right before a function of going to be cost of t-shirts. This is my y. Whatever is right after that thing, which is number of shirts, this is going to be my x. Okay, so let's see. My y is on top and my x on bottom. Okay, so what it means, one shirt costs $12.50. So now I'm going to look at my answer choices and see which one has a relationship like that one. So relationship like that one, the first one says for every $1 spent, hold on, the one on the slope, that's shirts, and the 12.50 is money. For every $1 spent, you'll receive 12.5 t-shirts. No, that doesn't work because it's completely the opposite. Okay, so no, F is not the answer. Let's see the second one. For every 112.50 spent, I get 9 shirts. Let me put that into the calculator and see what I get. When I get from the calculator, it's going to be again 12.50. So yes, 12.50 over 1 happens to be the same slope that I get from here. So my correct answer is going to be here, G. Problem number 5. According to the graph, which statement best describes the slope? Okay, so my slope is going to be rise over run. Let me see what I have here. I can get 2 good points from here. I'm going to get my first point from here. And then my second good point, I'm going to try to grab it from here. Let me see what do I have there. I'm going to start by counting. Let me count over here. My rise, which is this part over here, is going to be -10 because it's going down 10 units. While my run is going to be 5 because it's displacing 5 units, and I can read that 5 right there. Okay. So when I simplify this, -10 over 5, if I simplify that, it's going to be -2 over 1, or just -2. Let's leave it like that just for a moment. So let's see. As time in hours increases by 1, okay, the depth of the water in the pool decreases by 1. Well, I don't think so, because if I do this slope, it's going to be hours, which is on the bottom, and decreases 1. So this is -1. -1 over 1 is not the slope that I have. Let's try the next one. As time in hours, A is not the answer. As time in hours decreases, hold on, time in hours decreases, so am I going to be moving backwards in time? I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can decrease time. Okay. No, you cannot travel back in time. Forget about that one. Let's work the next one. So my next one says, as time in hours increases, okay, by halves, okay, so let me see, by halves. So that means increases by a half right here. Right here, increase by a half. I don't know if you can see it here. Where you see this is an increase by half, okay? The water depth of the pool increase. Increase means it's going up. Well, nope. My slope happens to be negative. So let's do the last one, okay? The last one says, as time in hours increases by 1, so the time of hours is going to increase by 1. Let me get that one right here. Increases by 1, so it's only this part, okay? The water in the pool decreases by 2, so it's going to go from here to right here to 8. Yep, that looks like a good answer. So my answer is going to be right here, D. Problem number 6. The graph models the linear relationship between the temperature of Earth's atmosphere and the altitude above sea level. Okay. Which of these represents the rate of the temperature with respect of altitude? Again, this is a rate, and the rate is a slope. So all I need to do is get a point here, get 2 points, and find the slope again. So let's see. Let me try to get good points, or fairly good points. I'm going to start by selecting this point right here. That looks like a 15. If I'm going right between 10 and 20, it's going to be a 15. Then I'm going to try to select another good point. I'm going to select this other one, which looks like it is a -50. Okay, so for my first point, I'm going to get my coordinates for the first point, and my first point is going to have a coordinate of x0 and y15. My second point is going to have an x of 10 and a y of -50. So I'm going to go to my equation to get the slope. Okay, open parentheses one more time. y2, -50. y1, 15. x2, 10. x1, 0. -50 minus 15 is going to be -65. And then 10 minus 0 is going to be 10. And when you divide negative 65 by 10, you're gonna get negative 6.5. Okay, and I look at that negative 6.5 and look at it right here, negative 6.5. Problem number 7. The table shows the linear relationship between the balance of a saving account and the number of withdrawal made. Withdrawal pretty much means a negative. It means it's taking away money. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up with a negative slope. If that is the case, it's gonna be a logical answer that my slope is gonna be negative because it's withdrawal. So I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna find, based on the table, what is the rate of change. The rate of change is the slope. So I'm gonna get the slope one more time. And for this one, I have a lot of different points I can get. You know, I can use to get the slope, but I want to select easy points. So these are gonna be my X, while these other ones are gonna be my Y's. Okay, and I'm gonna select this point as 0.1 and this other point as 0.2. So let me see if I'm gonna select my, let me write here so that we can remember Y2, Y1, X2, X1. So let's see. Y2, Y2, Y2. Y1, Y1, Y1. Now X2, 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 and then X1, X1, X1. Still writing some numbers here. 152, 2500, 1 and 0. So when I put all that into the calculator, what I get is negative 348. Okay, that looks like a reasonable answer because it was going to be negative because it was withdrawal. So this is a gradable, and when you grade this, remember that you need to grade also the negative. Otherwise, the computer will not mark it correct unless you make sure that you grade the negative.